goes a little something like,
I'll quiet down if it's what you want. I understand I'm not the only one for you.
Some of you who watched my video on Gautier said I should make more videos, so here we go. Faye Webster. Some of you may know her from her recent uprising on TikTok with her song titled I Know You. You may just happen to be a longtime fan of hers, or you may have never even heard of her before. In this video, I want to talk all about her style, lyrics, her recent hype, but most importantly, the evolution of her music. Born in 1997 and raised in Atlanta, at just 14, Faye had started to write music. Music seemed to run in her family, with her mother being a fiddle and guitar player and her grandfather being a bluegrass guitarist. Her brother also had some music connections, starting a rock band in high school.
Or did you pick it up along the way?
I kind of picked it up from my brother. He played guitar, but he's kind of in the rock and roll scene. So I kind of just picked up guitar from him and then learned from my granddad and uncle how to play bluegrass music. And then I kind of, growing up in Atlanta, there's a really big folk music scene here.
And at only 16, in 2013, Faye released her first album titled Run and Tell, which I'll touch on a bit more later. At some stage later on, Faye attended Belmont University in Nashville to study songwriting. However, she felt like she was wasting time and money and moved back to Atlanta.
It wasn't until like senior year of high school when there was actually pressure and it was like, hey, what do you want to do when you grow up? And like that moment of just like applying to colleges and stuff, I was like, I guess this is the only thing I know how to do.
Telling her parents that if she wasn't successful with music within a year, she would return to college, which definitely worked in her favor. It's not exactly easy to pinpoint the exact moment when Faye gained popularity and recognition, since a lot of articles I'm researching are pretty vague about it. But it wasn't long until she was signed to Awful Records, with whom she released her self-titled album Faye Webster in 2017. Not long after, she signed to Secretly Canadian in 2018, which has been connected to all of her albums since.
And I feel like that's kind of when I noticed that it wasn't just like family listening to my stuff.
Right.
Like I feel like that's when I kind of like got put on the radar.
Some things to know about Faye is that she has a huge passion for yo-yos and the yo-yo community. From an interview with Beat, Faye shares, the yo-yo community is really beautiful. You can find some of her yo-yo videos on her channel, in her music videos, and even live on tour. And has been known to show off her love for Pokemon on social media and in interviews.
Pokemon is my favorite thing other than my boyfriend. So I like Togekiss, and Poliwag.
She and her band just randomly started playing Eternal City live when I saw her in February. Faye's style is definitely unique, as her vocal style can be described as soft, soulful, and intimate, often characterized by gentle melodies and laid-back delivery.
You weigh just as much as me, don't you? I can feel it when we touch.
She infuses her music with a blend of indie folk, alt country, and R&B influences, creating a unique and emotive vocal aesthetic. Speaking of aesthetics, I haven't really been on TikTok lately, but I remember coming across a post of Pam from The Office and everyone in the comments was saying, she is so Faye Webster. I was a little confused at first, but I do sort of understand what they mean. But to use a person to refer to an aesthetic is definitely new to me. She definitely has this distinctive visual and artistic form of songwriting and relatable lyrics, and oddly specific titles, such as Right Side of My Neck, eBay Purchase History, and Lego Ring, to name a few. I guess the reason why this style works so well is because it's different and it sort of says things that other people think but don't express.
I might open my doors, I got exterminated, so it doesn't matter if bugs come in. That way my dog goes outside, my neighbors know his name, thought that was weird but I'm over it.
I find Faye's journey in her music evolution fascinating, as her first album, titled Run and Tell, as mentioned briefly before, is pretty different to the music she currently makes. Run and Tell is purely a country/folk album, and her singing style is in the early stages. To be honest, I'm not surprised that many people don't know this album, as it sort of sounds like Faye from another universe when listening to it. I actually really enjoyed listening to this album, although it's not as memorable for me. It's still a great start to the artist we know now. Even Faye states, "Lol, I think of this album as a bad tattoo. I don't think it represents me as well as a person anymore, and I don't play any of the songs live ever, but it was meaningful to me at one point in my life, so I try to remind myself that."
Do you feel a connection to any of the songs anymore?
Definitely not my first record. There's some songs on my self-titled that I'm like, this still represents me in some way. Like at one point it did really well and it doesn't anymore, but I still like, there's moments where I'm like, I enjoy playing this song because it makes me feel like I just started playing music again.
While not widely recognised in her later work, Run and Tell provides a glimpse into her musical style and served as a foundation for her later releases. You can really tell how much she aims to keep the country elements in her later music by the reoccurring use of the pedal steel.
I knew I wanted pedal steel because it's just what I grew up listening to. And every time I said, hey, can you help me find a pedal steel player? It was like 30 people said the same person.
Which has also been used to create a beach/bossa nova vibe.
I should get out more.
Especially in her latest album, Underdressed at the Symphony. Underdressed explores and experiments in new horizons with autotune, which is not usually something she uses in her music. However, you can definitely tell that it's more of a stylistic choice for certain songs, and I really think it works well with Lego Ring. This wasn't my favourite song on the album and I often avoided it, but it actually has seemed to grow on me a little bit recently. The autotune is most likely used to blend with Miles' style. It's not really a collab that anyone expected or asked for, but if you look into it, Faye actually went to the same school as him, making this pretty sentimental for the both of them. Feel free to let me know what you think of it in the comments. So if you've been on TikTok in the past year or so, you've probably heard this song.
I'll quiet down if it's what you want. I understand I'm not the only one for you.
The song sort of became a meme for a bit and was just used in edits/relatable videos. I don't know, I'm really sounding like a boomer here. This led for a boom in listeners and, alas, a new fan base.
The day that I met you, I started dreaming. The day that...
Some people even stating it was Steve Lacy all over again, which, yikes. And another person stating they romanticize the archetype of an artist without connecting to the actual substance of their work or them as a person. I'm not going to go too deep into the TikTokification of Faye, but I think I'll let Mars or Machine Girl on TikTok elaborate more.
So every time I go on this app, it's somebody, oh my gosh, Faye Webster is for the girls with tote bags and unfinished books. Faye Webster is for the girls who cry. Faye Webster is for blah, blah, blah. But I just don't like this, for lack of a better word, TikTokification of Faye Webster. Because her music is so much more than just sad girl music or like, so it just bothers me that someone who's so like expansive and like if you just actually listen a little bit more or just like see where she's from, the people that she works with, like etc., like she is so much more than tote bag girl with unfinished books and crying all the time core.
Overall, Faye Webster is such a super chill singer and songwriter. Many find comfort in her music with her oddly specific lyrics and dreamy vocals. It was really nice to talk about her and shed some light, especially on her most recent album and her beginnings, and how far she has come is just out of this world. And the evolution of her music will always amaze me.